Hey, welcome back to Volume Therapy. Today, we're talking about the Misfits, and I think it's considered their first album. It's called Walk Among Us, and
yes,
they had a bunch of singles, and then they had a collection of all those songs together, I think, out before this. This band started early. What was their first album put out? The first 45 was like in 77. I think 77.
Yeah, 77, 78, somewhere.
Yeah, and the first one was you could hear Glenn Danzig for sure, but I think that they stepped more horror. Every release got a little bit more like that, and I think that was they gravitated to that really quickly. And by the time they got to Walk Among Us, or is that what's it called?
Yeah, Walk Among Us.
Yeah, all of a sudden I had a brain fart there and I couldn't remember. Yeah, Walk Among Us. Anyway, so Shawn, you suggested this as the punk rock album that we should talk about, and I thought that's a great one, so I agreed.
Well, it's a classic.
It's a very good album and a very good band. I was not into the Misfits back in the day. I got into Danzig when that first Danzig album came out. Mm-hmm. And I love that first Danzig album. It's still one of my faves. But I like the Misfits a lot. And, obviously I heard of the Misfits back in the day because of Metallica. And they were preaching the word of Misfits to all us kids quite staunchly. They were like, get out and get your Misfits. And sadly, I didn't jump on the Misfits train because I was on the Metallica one, I guess.
The way that I discovered the Misfits was walking into the record store, and that was the old school way. There's no internet, walk in, and I had this 78 Nova with a tape deck in it. And so I go in and buy tapes, and it just went up there, and I saw Misfits Evil Live, and I pulled it out and I looked at it. And go, the artwork is kind of terrible. I'm like, okay, I'll take a shot on it. Right? Popped in the tape deck. It sounds so horrendous, so bad, but there's a velocity of that band in that moment captured on that at that show that I had never heard from another band. Just this intensity and this velocity and this just forward motion, aggression, violence. But yet the songs are like goofy little pop songs about horror and monsters and don't go in the bathroom. And I turned into a Martian and like, what? It sounds so dark and evil, but the lyrics are so campy and goofy. And I'm like, I couldn't take it out of my tape deck, and up until then, just like everybody else around me at the time, listening to Quiet Riot and Rat and stuff like that, Dio, Iron Maiden, that's what we were listening to. And so, and I was already a Ramones fan, so I kind of got that. I'm like, okay, it's kind of sort of got that thing that the Ramones has a little bit, but sloppier and darker, and the guitars are flying out of tune and they don't even care, just go. So I went back after about a week and bought Walk Among Us. I'm like, well, let's see what the studio versions. I'm sure the studio versions are in tune and played well. No. But you know what? It's still one of my favorite records of all time. This album is out of tune. The playing is sloppy. The vocals are coming in and out at the wrong time.
Okay. So just a little known thing was the first ZZ Top album they went in to record, and I think that the producer made them detune the second guitar track just a hair because they needed that separation in there.
So Joan Jett's got that. She's always the little intonations a little off. That's kind of her sound, But this album. So, just another quick story before we go into this album. Yeah. My bass player and grave robber and I went to see the Misfits when they did these recent reunions. This one was about 5 or 6 years ago at Riot Fest in Chicago, and the drummer was not the drummer from the Misfits. They got Dave Lombardo from Slayer to play. So we're like, oh my gosh, is he going to put like double kick? No, played single kick. He played the parts, but the most beautiful thing that happened, the part that I went, I mean, like I wanted to kiss Dave Lombardo on the mouth for doing this. 20 Eyes. It has bothered me since the day I bought this cassette back in 80, whatever it was. The song starts 20 Eyes. The drum fill is the worst drum fill ever recorded, and Dave Lombardo plays it live. It was perfect, and
but Dave's he's a pretty great drummer.
Oh, he was so good, and he's so good with the Misfits. Now he holds them together. They actually sounded like they were playing together, and it was magical. So let's get into this 20 Eyes. I already kind of started on that. My first introduction to a studio recorded song by the Misfits, 20 Eyes. First time, because I heard the live stuff first, and I had already heard the live version of 20 Eyes. When I heard the studio version, I was like, what? Because it's not drastically different than the live version. The guitars are not in tune. Bass is just the drum mix is just pounding you.
I imagine the Misfits were the kind of guys, they were like, hey, we got $283. Let's go record an album. and I say that, but back in the day, that was enough money to do it at the right studio. $10 an hour or something, 15 maybe.
Yeah.
And so they went in and, okay, well, how many songs we got to do? 20? Okay, go. And they just recorded them all. Go. And I think that's what they did. And
I think you're right.
And it was one day. They paid the guy what they had, and then they went and I don't know.
And he mixed it good enough, and here we are. And we're still listening to it to this day.
But I'm going to say this about this album. As a whole, this album is perfect with every bit of out of tune and slop and every bit of everything about it. The mix, which isn't great, is right. It just sounds right. When you listen to it, you're like, yeah. And then, like, I was listening on the headphones, and like one of the guys doing backup vocals would say stuff in a weird way. So I kept thinking there was some dude standing behind me, and I'm like, what the? And I thought my son was coming because these are noise canceling, and I'm like, what? And those guys were just like, they just left it in there, sloppy as all get out. And yet it works. And lyrically, I don't know what they're singing about. I'm pretty sure if you knew which movie the song was based on, you would understand everything behind what they did. Because I think that almost everything was based on something.
In 1996, the box set came out, and for the very first time, you had the lyrics. Because up until then, you're guessing.
Yeah.
And I went through it, and I went, what? That's what? And it's some of the lyrics are really dumb. Some of them are really awesome. Like I Turned Into a Martian, second song. And it just the way it's just like the whole album just rages. And it's the velocity. I didn't think, the live thing, great. I was into that velocity and into that aggression. And then I got the studio version thinking, oh, no, it won't be like that. It'll be all tightened up and, nice. No, it's not. And it still has that velocity. And All Hell Breaks Loose. Are you freaking kidding me? That song just feels like I'm being punched in the side of the head. Still to this day.
All Hell Breaks Loose is a great tune. It is. Yeah. Okay, just going down side A on this. There's nothing bad on this.
No. Vampira. The funny thing about Vampira was like, I swore that the lyrics were dirty, like pornographic. Till I got the lyrics, I read them and go, oh, it's not enough. He says something about here having a 4-inch micro waist. And if you ever saw Vampira, she's about that big around.
Yeah. That was part of her thing.
Yeah.
I just saw a clip on Instagram of Vampira, the lady talking, and she said, we don't use electricity. Well, that's for chairs, is what she said. So morbid. That lady was, well, she was funny. I think she paved the way for Elvira.
Hands down.
You know,
Nike A Go Go. That's track 5. I never really understood what that was about, but you also got to realize these guys were like kids when they were writing these songs, like 18, 19 years old, and then they got into their 20s, and then brought the little kid, the 15-year-old Doyle, into the band after kicking Bobby Steele out. Bobby Steele is a good friend of mine, actually, and so he gave me the whole rundown about what happened and how they got rid of him and everything. But they got Jerry Only, the bass player's kid brother, who was 15, so that Jerry could have an extra vote, so that he could kind of take control over the band. And you know, they're kids and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to be in a band, let alone write songs, let alone whatever. But because they didn't know how to write songs, they didn't formulate the songs verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. They just played what sounded right to them. And it's great.
It is great.
Hate breeders. Hey breeder. Oh. You know, it's like, they're just anthemic.
That might be my favorite song on side A of this.
Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight is live. That's from Evil Live.
Oh yeah.
So they took it's the same song. So
that's
when you
funny.
hear that, Mother, can I go out and kill tonight? It's all, you know, and that shows you, you know, what.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
and it's. So I'm trying to think of which song on here I don't like. I like them all. On side 2, Night of the Living Dead is.
Oh, it's so good.
It's freaking right on.
Skulls
is always, okay. Now here's the deal.
That was always my favorite.
I know that the name is Skulls, and I know he sings "I want your skulls," but I always think soul.
Oh wow!
I always hear soul. So since the first time I heard it, which I didn't know the name of the song the first time I heard it, I thought he said soul. So ever since then, in my head, I'm thinking he's saying something completely different. Skulls is creepier, actually. You know, souls is like, ooh, you know, but Skulls.
And they were trying to be naughty, right?
Yeah, they were
kids trying to be naughty, trying to be violent, trying to be horror, and then saying things like cutting the heads off little girls and put them on my wall. What? Put them on your wall? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But when you hear the song, you're like, yeah. You go see them live, and you're singing along. Turn the heads off, little girl, and put them on my wall. You know, you're like, it's so into it, and it's so stupid.
For one thing, horror movies are supposed to be taboo. They're supposed to go into a place. You see people get killed. I'm just going to break this down for you.
Mm-hmm.
Killing people is always wrong. Don't be killing folk. Defending yourself and killing folk is acceptable in certain situations, but come on, we love Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash, and he sings about killing folk all the time. Yeah, and I remember in the movie, or I remember a quote for him singing about it. It's one thing, doing it's another. And so I'm just saying that, like, this band falls into the area of, I believe they were inspired by the early horror movies and sort of that. And the stuff that was coming out at the time, so that I'm sure they watched the Italian horror movies too, and they sort of were, you know, inspired by that stuff, and you know, all the different movies in the 70s and the other old black and white ones, and and obviously, you know, science fiction, because there's a song on here called Astro Zombies, which, by the way, is my favorite song on the album. A good song. It is the jam.
When I was younger, I didn't really like Violent World, but now I love it. I mean, it's such a great song.
Yeah.
I think if somebody says you have to pick the least favorite song, Devil's Whorehouse is my least favorite. Okay. If I have to pick one. But I still, it's not that I don't like it, but if I have to pick a least favorite, that would be it. And then Astro Zombies, fantastic. Then Brain Eaters is just so hilarious.
Brain Eaters sounds like a bunch of freaking football fans drinking at the bar, but they're zombies singing about brains instead of beer.
Brains
Oh
for
my!
breakfast, brains for lunch, brains for dinner, brains for. Why can't we have some brains? It's so stupid.
But the way that it's done, it's like a freaking mob of drunk footballers. Yeah. And I think I might mean soccer hooligans. I think it's even more crazy sounding than a bunch of rednecks. I think it sounds like, you know.
But I think the Misfits have always been tongue firmly planted in cheek. You know what I mean? And I think they knew it. But I think that's part of the joke is like, let's go, let's do this all the time. It's ever devil lock. Do this all the time. Right. Don't let on that this is kind of funny. Oh, don't do that. Go back to this.
Whoa. Yeah. With you got too many of the sing-along parts for it to be serious.
Right.
And Evil Elvis. I mean, come on. Glenn Danzig is Evil Elvis. And he's like, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think that this is a great listen. If you haven't heard it, go spend $35 on eBay and buy a CD copy.
Oh man, you got to have this record. This has to be in your collection. It just has to. Even if you sit around listening to Dokken and Nickelback, you still need this record.
I think that there's four. There's probably four Misfits albums that you need to have, and this is one of them.
For sure. And then this is probably the best album to start with. Evil Live, the one I started with, is probably another one to start with. No, probably this one. This is the one to start with.
Yeah, Walk Among Us is definitely. It's. Listen, there's a reason why this band is still selling shirts in malls. And my daughter wears a Misfits shirt and listens to a couple Misfits songs. And she's 20. And that's, 30 years before she was even thought about. You know what I mean? It's a thing for sure,
The crazy thing is, I'm like staring at the title, so I had them in front of me, but I'm looking at the titles. I'm like, this is practically a greatest hits record. You know what I mean? I mean, okay, we're missing some songs, but if they would repackage this in different order and call it Misfits Greatest Hits Volume 1, I bet Misfits fans would buy it, not even realizing they're buying Walk Among Us.
Are all these songs on the collection?
I don't know that all of them are. Few of them are. Should be anyway.
No.
And there was collection 1 and 2.
Night of the Living Dead, Vampira. I Turned Into a Martian, Skulls.
Yeah.
But it also has like London Dungeon.
Yeah.
It has Astro Zombies. Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight? Die, My Earth. There's a bunch of other songs that are pretty good because London Dungeon is that's a jam. So this is the collection. We can get it to Volume 1, and then they got collection Volume 2. And that I think is what you can get on vinyl nowadays for an affordable price without too much. I definitely I wish I had this on vinyl. It is definitely a great album. It's enjoyable, it's funny, it's I would say it's lighthearted because it's such a dark subject that I treat it like the old Vincent Price movies.
Well, I was going to say that earlier. You said Glenn Danzig has said that the Misfits were inspired initially by drive-in theater movie, the drive-in, the black and whites, it's all of that. I view it like it's like Americana, but for suburbanite kids. Like when in the 70s, when you were left to your own devices, latchkey kid, you're freaking, nobody's around, you're eating your Twinkies, drinking your Tang, and you're watching a freaking scary movie.
this is the kind of music you made with your friends in the basement, or in your garage, and the neighbors yelling at you after he drank too many Coors. I think that's where Misfits comes from, and so because I understand it, I'm just not offended by it. And I know that lots of people that would read the songs and go, "Mommy, can I go out and kill tonight?"
They're not suggesting that you actually go out and kill tonight.
I mean, and if they were, somebody knocked Danzig out. He got a glass jaw. I seen the videos. I seen it. He can't take a punch. He's down and out. But it's a great.
And here's the crazy thing about this album. There are 13 songs on this record. Are you ready for this? 13 songs on this record. And if you have to leave your house in a half an hour, you can put this album on and listen to it top to bottom and still have 6 minutes to put your shoes on. It's 24 minutes long.
It's just a little too long for one side of a vinyl record.
Right. The whole record is 24 minutes long. For crying out loud.
But, I mean, think about how many short albums you love.
Oh yeah.
Slayer.
I don't get tired of short records.
I listened to them twice. Welcome for me. Yeah, I think I listened to them twice as much.
Me too.
Because I'm in the mood for it. Well, let's do it again.
I love Joan Jett. Joan Jett's I Love Rock and Roll. I love that record, except for the song I Love Rock and Roll because it was overplayed. But again,
I just bought it.
There you go. That's the incredible record. And that's only 20 some minutes long. 20, 22, 24, something like that. Yeah, it's not that long. But yeah. So that's exactly,
So what are you gonna give this a rating out of? Okay, sorry. Jump back. We're staying on Misfits. We're locked up.
Right.
Okay, Misfits. Walk Among Us.
This is such a classic for me.
I'm gonna give it a pretty high score.
It's gonna be
I'm gonna say that
I'm going that everything,
the slop, the cheese,
9.25.
I'm gonna say 9. I'm going to say 9. I'm going under you again. I'm just a little bit more of the voice of reason here. I'm just kidding.
I think so.
No, 9 is it's pretty much. There's a couple songs that
What songs would you go meh to?
Okay. I like one, but I don't care if I hear it ever again. That sounds dumb. Sounds like I don't really like it. But I Turned Into a Martian is it's okay.
Really?
Yeah, I like 20 Eyes.
That's a big one for me.
And I like All Hell Breaks Loose. So here's why I'm saying is I Turned Into a Martian is I don't ever remember it. I'm always 20 Eyes. I'm like, what is he singing about? Has he got freaking schizophrenia? And then then All Hell Breaks Loose comes.
I think 20 Eyes is about The Fly, even though earlier on they had written the song The Fly, Return of the Fly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
20 Eyes is about The Fly.
Yeah. And then the other song is Devil's Whorehouse.
Yeah, that one.
I don't dislike either of those. But,
me neither.
To me, they're sort of filler. I really like Skulls, stupid song that I think is Souls, and then and then I really like Astro Zombies. And today I was laughing at Brain Eaters like you wouldn't believe. I really like All Hell Breaks Loose, Nike A Go Go. Hate Breeders might be the jam on this.
I know. And the funny thing is, when I first got this record way back in the 80s, Hate Breeders was one of the ones that I was like, meh. But now I love that song. It's just the melody line, the way the guitar chords. And now here's the thing. Now I talked about them being sloppy players, and that's true. But for being kids and not really understanding really how to do it. The chord progressions, you listen to that, you go, that is brilliant. Like the chords with the melody line on top of it, for being kids, they really, really put together great songs that have stood the test of time.
Right.
I mean, I can listen to Dream Theater and the song's over and I don't even remember what I just listened to. I can put on Vampira and that'll be in my head all day long, So, I mean,
well, they wrote hooks.
Yeah.
They wrote like they could have been top 40 because of the hooks, but they didn't write and polish music, I mean, so right. Yeah, but definitely they got the hooks.
Absolutely.
They may be rusty hooks and hanging meat off them and they're leather faces garage, but they got the hooks.
But I'm just saying. All right, so I'm going to give it a 9.25. I should just say 9. I'll give it a 9.
Okay, 9. I'm giving it a 9.
Final answer. Don't need to phone a friend.
We're going to say this is a good album, and worth the worth looking for and getting a copy. For sure.
That's right.
All right. We're running out of time. So
that's what Mike and I think of Walk Among Us by the Misfits. Don't forget to like all of our socials. You can find the link down there somewhere for our link tree, which has every place that you can find this podcast and every social media site that we're on: Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever it's called, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you like all that. Make sure you share it with your friends. Make sure that you give us your unbridled opinion of the Misfits Walk Among Us. Go ahead, post what you think of the album. I promise you we won't argue with you because we don't argue with each other either. We just want to hear what you think of it, and we want to know what your opinion is.
Also, if there's any albums you want us to do, please put it in the notes of one of these songs. And I think when we're talking about that, we're talking about YouTube, because that's where I go check. I saw somebody gave their very detailed review of Stryper under the Stryper one. I just saw that today. So and I appreciate that, because that's right on. And he was a fanboy, and he was talking about the what he thought was good about it. So it was cool. And I'm grateful for that stuff, because that made me feel like somebody was, not only did he listen to us, but then he responded, and I thought that was really awesome of the guy. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching and listening to us, and I hope you have a blessed evening or day or time, whatever it is. Yeah.
And listen to Walk Among Us by the Misfits.
Yes, please.
I'm sure you're wrong.
Take care.